Welcome everyone. Today we're diving into the world of networking and more specifically the OSI model. Now you might be thinking, the OSI model? Sounds like a new car model or something? But don't worry, it's actually the framework that drives the internet. Think of it as the engine under the hood that keeps everything running smoothly. Now let's get started. And we have the physical layer, the bedrock of the OSI model. This layer is all about the hardware. Think of it as the chassis and engine of your networking vehicle. It's where the rubber meets the road with cables, switches, and anything you can physically touch. Without this layer, your data isn't going anywhere. It's like trying to drive a car without wheels. Instead of a smooth ride down the highway, you'd be stuck in neutral. Not very exciting, but absolutely essential. Next up is the data link layer, the traffic cop of your networking highway. This layer makes sure your data stays in its lane and gets to the right destination without any fender benders along the way. It handles MAC addresses like license plates on cars, ensuring each data packet knows where it's going, and if there's a problem, it jumps in with error detection and correction, like pulling over to fix a flat tire before you hit the road again. Data cruises through, gets checked, and continues smoothly on this journey. Now let's move on to the network layer, the GPS of networking. This layer takes your data, straps it into a virtual car, and sends it on the best route possible using IP addresses. Just like when you're driving and need to avoid traffic, the network layer handles routing and forwarding, making sure your data avoids any virtual traffic jams. If your data ever seems lost, it's probably this layer that needs a quick recalibration. Moving on to the transmit layer, where the real driving control takes place. This layer acts like your data's cruise control, making sure everything runs smoothly and at the right pace. It handles flow control, like adjusting your speed to avoid traffic jams, and takes care of error correction, similar to adjusting the steering if you start to drift off course. It's the layer that keeps your data journey steady and on track, ensuring it reaches its destination without a hitch. Now we've arrived at the session layer, the traffic manager of the journey. This layer is responsible for starting, managing, and ending the data exchanges between applications. Think of it like coordinating a convoy, making sure all the vehicles are in sync, traveling together, and knowing when to pull over once the trip is complete. It ensures that the communication stays on track so your data can keep cruising along smoothly. Next up is the presentation layer, the data detailer. This layer ensures your data is in the right format for both the application and the network. It's like having a mechanic who tunes everything perfectly so that the engine purrs and the ride is smooth. Plus, it handles encryption and compression, like adding a security system and making your car more fuel efficient. Not bad for a detailer, right? And finally, we've arrived at the application layer, the driver's seat. This is the layer you're most familiar with, even if you didn't realize it. It's where you, the driver, actually take control and interact with the network. Whether you're sending an email, browsing the web, or streaming a cat video, this is the layer that puts you in the driver's seat, making it all happen. It's the part of the OSI model that turns all that complex engineering into a smooth, user-friendly ride. That's a wrap on our journey through the OSI model. We've cruised through everything from the physical layer, which deals with the hardware, all the way up to the application layer, where you're behind the wheel. Think of the OSI model as a finely tuned car, with each layer working together to ensure your data travels smoothly from point A to point B. And now you're officially an OSI model expert, ready to navigate the network highways with confidence. Now it's your turn. Any questions or thoughts about the OSI model? Maybe you're curious about how these layers work together like gears in a real-world driving scenario, or perhaps you're still wondering why it's not called the Overdrive Super Internet model. Let's hit the gas and talk about it.